Good morning, Stampers. It's Teppy Schwartzel, and I am with AridDesertDesigns.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I am coming to you from sunny Anthem, Arizona. Not so sunny today. It looks like we actually might get some rain today, which would be nice. This is our monsoon season, so we will see if that actually happens. Usually it's just wind and lightning and not a whole lot of rain. It is coming to the end of the month of August. If you have any special coupons that you had gotten in the month of July from Stampin' Up, remember they have to be used before the end of August. And on to a little bit more business. If you have a desire to purchase the things that I've used today in today's video, and a list will be available after the video, probably tomorrow sometime. I have an actual job I have to go to. And so if you decide that you would like to purchase from me, I would be thrilled to death, and I'll do anything to help you, whatever you need. If your order is under $150, please use this host code. If it's $150 or over, do not use this host code. You will get all kinds of Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. And excuse my sniffles, bad allergies. It's getting on my nerves. So I will. This is also on my blog on the right hand side. If you misplace this, again, you can always stop the video and copy that down, or go to my blog and it will be there. And this changes at the beginning of every month. Okay, so I got a card in one of the swaps that I'm in, and I love the design, and I've seen it before, but this was done by Kathy Miller, and she is in the group I'm in with Kelly Atchison. And I just thought it was really cute, and just a really nice, simple card. So this is what I started. This is what is my inspiration. And this is what I ended up with. I love Halloween, so we're going with the Halloween. This is the Christmas. The Halloween group is out of the August-December mini catalog, and I guess I should have checked to make sure that the video is playing, and I'm not seeing it anywhere. So bear with me for a second. I always have to do this because I want to make sure that it is in the right direction, and it looks like we're good. And I will pull it up, and I try to answer questions. Hi Melissa, thanks for coming, and I really appreciate you guys coming and watching. Now, like I said, I love Halloween. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. I love Thanksgiving. I like Christmas, don't get me wrong, but the pressure that comes with Christmas is what throws me off. I love Halloween and Thanksgiving. There's no expectations. It's great food. It's fun. There's candy. There's cookies and all kinds of stuff without the pressure of having to go and shop. So I've used the Halloween bundle, and let me see what page that's on. And I'm so sorry for the sniffling. It's such a pain. Okay, here it is. It's on page 52 and 53. The bundle includes, and unfortunately I've used a lot of the paper, so I really can't show you what it looks like, but it's got some Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Pretty Peacock, which is one of my favorite colors, Basic Black, and Blackberry Bliss, okay, and white. There is also which we're going to be using today, a embossing folder. Did I do this? Yes, I did. Okay, there's an embossing folder called Cobweb 3D Embossing Folder. Black glitter paper. I have just about used that all up. As you can see, I'm getting to the end. And I just put an order in yesterday and I forgot to order more. We're also going to be using this metallic ribbon and the iridescent pearls and the Hallows Night Magic Bundle. And that, like I said, that includes this embossing folder. The bundle, the Hallows Night Magic Bundle, has these dies and label die, and there are some bats, and there's a spider. Yeah, there's a spider. There's this webbing here, and then these stamps. Let's see if there's anything else with that. And here's a little, I hope this shows it. Here's one of the uses with one of the label dies. And I will show you what I did with the label die. Okay, and this is out of the August-December 2020 mini catalog. I did use some of this black organza ribbon. That's out of the annual catalog. Okay, so what we have here is we've used Gorgeous Grape. All right, that's our base, and the Gorgeous Grape is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Then a piece of basic black, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and that was embossed, and I will show you that here. Now, and here's what it looks like. All right. Now, one of the tips this is a 3D folder. One of the tips that you need to know about when you're using these embossing folders, there's a hinge here. Okay, you always put the hinge in first, and you let it go all the way through. Do not back up with it, because you will eventually break that hinge. Some people are able to tape it back together, but remember, this is a two-sided, there's a debossed side and an embossed side. So they really have to line up well in order for you to get a perfect image. So just be careful with these. I love them, and they're relatively inexpensive, and they just make paper so much more fun. Okay, so then I also have scrap of grape. I'm sorry, the Gorgeous Grape, and I'm stuck here. And that is going to be 8 3/4 by 3 1/4, and I scored it at 4 3/8. Okay, we'll show you how that works later. So now that I have, this is the embossed basic black, and I need to find a piece of scrap paper. I guess I'm going to have to use the back of this. Now, what I've used is there's a dimensional, stick that right there. I'm using the Whisper White ink, and I have highlighted the webbing. And these are just makeup brushes that I got at off of Amazon. They're very inexpensive. I love them. One of the things about the Whisper White ink, this is a pigment ink. The rest of our inks are dye inks. This is very thick. So a little goes a long way. So be careful. I try to take off some of the ink before I start on my my embossing paper, and all I'm doing is rubbing it across the black to highlight the webbing in this piece of embossed paper. Now, you see how it's kind of heavy there? You can leave that. I mean, you know, that adds some character to it. I try to, and you can kind of push it out and thin it out a little bit. Okay, and just keep going. And when you're finished, you're finished. It's totally up to you how much of this you want on there. And all I'm doing is highlighting the web. A lot of that, as you can see, is going to be covered up, but you can still see it in the background. I love cobwebs. I mean, I don't like to walk into them. And there's a little critter out there that every morning when I go out onto the patio, he has decided to rebuild the web that I walked through the day before. So, okay, so there we go. That's pretty good. We can now take that on our piece of gorgeous grape again, which is, I got a fan going here. This gorgeous grape is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Bend edge a little bit there. Use the other side. Close up my ink before I end up with it on me. All right, so we're just going to take some multi-purpose glue and glue this panel to this piece of gorgeous grape. And I usually go from the one end. I start at one end and try to make sure that it looks even on 3 of the sides, and then drop it down, and that will usually get you right where you need to be. And that's why I like liquid glue, because I can move it around. All right, now we can smush it out a little bit. You'll feel the ink. Pigment ink it stays wet for a long time, because I use pigment ink when you're doing heat embossing. So because it stays wet for so much longer. Okay, now what we're going to show you is a little trick. You see how this is hinged? Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're also using the Halloween Magic dies. And in the die pack are these 2 labels. Yes, and once you take this stuff out of there, I can never get it back in, right? So, now we're taking the smaller of the labels is used for the white pieces there. The larger of the dies, I'm going to show you a little trick. Okay, let me just get my embossing machine. And yes, I do not have the brand new embossing machine. I'm not sure. Mine's got to die first, because I'd rather spend my money on paper and products. Okay, so we've got our die machine here. And as you said, no, I had you hit this. This is scored in the middle. And I'm going to try and get that down a little bit more, just to make the crease a little bit sharper. Okay, now what you're going to do, you've got that folded in half now. You're going to take this die, and it doesn't have to be centered or anything like that. You just make sure that the die is covering the entire piece of paper. Now, your die, I want the bottom of this to be at the top crease. And you're going to take your other plate. I'm shaking today, I don't know why. Because you do not want to cut into that fold. Okay? Carefully putting that down. I'm going to run this through a few times, because you're cutting through 2 pieces of paper. Not recommended, but just wanted to give you something different today. Let's make sure that it went through. Oops, I'm losing stuff here. Okay, and a little bit there, come on. I know you can do it. There you go. So now you have a label that opens up. Isn't that adorable? Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I will get the die machine out of the way. Oh my God, these are heavy. I hope the new die machine's a little bit lighter. But see how that works? Isn't that cute? Okay, now what we've done is I have already cut the 2 label dies. the two Whisper White ones. These are with scraps. And, okay, what I did is I took my Memento ink pad, and, because this was really, it's a stark white. So, what I'm doing is I'm just using my pad to go around the edges and add a little ink to the edges and come into the inside so you get some design there. So there you go, that's that one. And no two are ever going to come out the same, so don't worry about it. And you probably will get some ink on your fingers. Not to fret, it will come off eventually. Okay, there you go. That's easy peasy. Oh, that's right. Now what we're going to do, and this is the smaller die in that set. Okay, now what I've used is Just for You on the outside label. I'm going to use that one. And I put it at an angle. You don't always have to make everything straight. That way no one can tell whether or not it's on straight. Okay. Just for You, and I put it off to the side. Okay, there you go. And on the inside I used this is from the Celebration Tidings, the rubber stamps I'm using. Happy Haunting I put on the inside, and Just for You is the one I just used on the outside. Again, I will have all of this listed by tomorrow, hopefully. It's hell having a job, but it helps pay for some extra stuff. And as you can see, I've got ink on my block, so please be careful. And this one I'm putting in the center. This is the inside label. Just let that sit for a minute. That came out good. All right, I'm going to clean this off because I have the little spider from the Celebrations Tiding on the other side of my block. And I'm going to put him on this particular die because I thought he was cute. And I need a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and I'm going to put another one down over here and have him coming off on the edge. There we go. Okay, let me just get that off. Okay, and close this up, or I will be wearing this. Okay, so we're done with the ink, I do believe. Easy on the inking, and this is going to go on the inside of my label here. My hinged label. Where's my glue? There it is. Okay. And center that. And what happens is that outer frame actually comes through to the second sheet, which I was really shocked that it would do that. So a double plus there is that you get that design on the inside also. Okay, now we're going to put the Just You on the outside label, again using the liquid glue. Hi Linda, how are you doing? Have you gotten any rain over there in Sun City? We didn't get any last night, but we got some the night before. All right, so got that centered. Now we're going to take our panel, and I couldn't figure out what to do with it. I'm going to close that up. And then I came up with, I'm going to do 2 strips. This is part of the Halloween bundle or suite, and this is called their metallic mesh ribbon. And I'm going to take 2 pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just haphazardly measure it the size of the basic black panel, and then it's going flying across the desk. And 2 pieces. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should use this, because the first time I used the mini glue dots, because mini glue dots really do well with fabric. But maybe I'm going to use my tear and tape this time. Okay, I'm going to take it and just cut a piece off randomly, because I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm taking these 2 pieces of ribbon together, and I'm kind of just gathering them in the center, and I'm going to tape them with the tape. And of course what I should do is probably take this outer piece off. I probably should just use Scotch tape for this part. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. That'll be easier than trying to deal with the double-sided tape. And then I'm going to cut this in half, because I really don't want a huge wide piece of tape. And I'll put that there. Okay, we'll try this again now. Again, you know, as you go along, you start thinking of different ways to do things. I'm just trying to make sure I'm kind of in the center here. And then take my tape and come around the center, because I've gathered the ribbon together in the center. Okay, and then I can cut that extra tape off, because then I am going to use the tear and tape to attach that down. And I'm just going to pull them apart a little bit, and then you can arrange them after you get the label on top of them. Okay, so we want this to splay out a little bit, and we can work with that when we get that done. All right, I mean, when we get the label on top of it, we can still move it around. And then I'm just taking a piece of tear and tape, make sure it's doesn't go out past your the label that we're going to put on top. Get that paper backing off. Always so much fun to do things on camera. All right, now what I'm going to do, nobody uses these very often, but one of these are the foam adhesive strips. They're very narrow, and one of the things you need to understand is they're foam and they give you some depth. Don't try to use them when you're using dimensionals, because they are much thicker than your dimensionals. So just a heads up for that. But the way I've used this is always good to use when you're doing shaker cards. And what I decided to do was to put a strip here in the center and put another strip at the top, but to the center of the label. Okay, so that way it gives you the ability to move this ribbon that is going to be underneath it. And then take the paper backing off. Easier said than done, of course. Okay, and what you're going to do is, like I said, kind of move this out. Put your little label in the center, and I would try to get your ribbon where you kind of want it before you press down on your folded label here. Okay, I'm going for it. Okay, there you go. All right, cute, huh? Okay, now I have used the bat dies and the spider dies. Spider die, there's only one die, and the bat die is all one piece, but it gives you 3 different bats that it's going to cut out. All right, so the spider I'm going to put up on a dimensional. And unfortunately, I do not have the black dimensionals. I just keep forgetting to order them. And did I use a whole one? Let's go like this. I like using my take your pick tool to place things. For me, it's just a lot easier. And that's probably too big. Okay, let's go a little bit smaller. And remember, you know, this edging, it's just as sticky as the rest of the dimensionals, so you can use it. Use everything you can. All right, we're almost there. Now, put your little spider down here or wherever you want. And what I did with the little bats, I just came in and took these little pieces right here in between, because they were perfect for the center of the bat. And again, these are small, so they're not the easiest things to work with, especially if you have fingernails. Fake fingernails, that is. And fake fingernails stick to everything. All right, and there is one bat that's bigger. I'm going to put one of the smaller bats up here. And I'm going to put the bigger bat at the corner. Again, this is all up to you where you want it. And again, the black dimensionals would probably work better because we are working with dark paper. All right, and we got one more bat to go. And get the backing off of that. Okay, now, oops. All right, we've got a little bit sticking out there, but we'll try to take care of that. Either that, or if we put it on the white, it may not show, it doesn't show up as much. But you can always take your pick tool, and if you've got anything that's coming out, shove it back in. Especially if it's got glue on it, it'll usually stick back there. Okay, so now we're going to take what I love, these iridescent pearls. As you can see, I've used quite a few of them. I put one on the spider right here. And I put one in the corner. And I used a smaller one next. But the other thing I did was I put some of the larger iridescent ones in the center of the cobwebs. I think there's one back there, yep. One right there. All right, now, the last thing I did was I took the where is it? The glittered organdy ribbon. This is 3/8 of an inch. This is out of the annual catalog, and I took some more of the metallic mesh. And what I did, I always leave my ribbon on my spool. I'm just going to tie a knot. And the reason I leave it on my spool is that way I don't feel that I'm wasting as much ribbon. I can manipulate it down as far as I want. That way I'm not wasting ribbon by cutting it off. And then, like I said, you can move it down and get it as short as you want it. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to just cut this the organdy ribbon on an angle. And then what I do is I usually try to fold it in the center so that I can get them so that they're semi close in size, in length. And there we go. And that's a little bit longer. Oops, whoa, jumping scissors. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then I'm just going to put that down here at the end. And I did use mini glue dots, and they're here somewhere. I know I'm a hot mess right now, so let's see. I kind of like it going that way. All right, so I'm going to use a couple of glue dots. You can use as many as you want. That should be good enough. Okay, and I'm just going to put that in the center. And there you go. And if you want to cut that off so that it's not impeding on anything, but there you go. Now, one of the things I did with the other one, and I'm not quite sure I'm happy with that, is that I took, oh, that's not it, this is it. I have Shimmer Frost White, and this is a Stampin' Spritzer, and I mix it with rubbing alcohol. And I sprayed this to give it some sparkle. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. It would be totally up to you, but be really careful with this because you can overdo it. But here's the card. Very simple, easy to do. Again, everything will be listed on my Facebook page and also on YouTube. And it'll probably be done tomorrow. I have to go to work. But I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry for my mess. And I really appreciate you spending time here today. If you've got any questions, please let me know. If you need help with anything, I would be more than happy to help you. If you have any questions, I'm always around, I check everything at least once a day to see if anybody has any questions that they need answered. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Again, I couldn't do Card Sketch Wednesday yesterday. One of the ladies is on vacation, so I had to go in early. So I'm going to be doing Card Sketch Wednesday this Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Yes, we're on Pacific time right now. And if you ever have any ideas of something you want me to do, please let me know, and I will do my best to get it done for you. I want to thank you again. Have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, happy, and safe. Bye-bye.